Well, hello boys and girls, and welcome back to another video from the Pinoy Pick Pro Lock Shop. And tonight, the video is going to be about, well, I've had people ask me, can you really pick a lock using paper clips? You know, like they do on some of the television shows. And the short answer to that question is yes, you can. The other part to that answer is it is not as easy to do as they make it look on television. So what we're going to do is I laid out a couple of items here. These are two paper clips. This is just your normal standard average size paper clip. It's 1¼ inches long, and just for scale, so you can see, here's a quarter. Now this paper clip is 1 7/8, and it's the next size paper clip up from this little old normal standard size. So it's just a little shorter than your normal house key. So if you're going to make a pick out of a paper clip, don't go with the smaller one. It's way too thin. You won't get the same. It's too flexible. The metal is too thin. It'll bend and flex on you, and you just won't get the same pressure. It'll throw your sense of touch way off, and it's just not a very good material to use. So I always try, actually, to use the next size up. And I actually do carry these size paper clips in some of my lock kits. They have helped me get through a couple of different situations. The other thing about if you're going to make a pick, I tend to use just a couple of particular types of lock picks when I first am trying to pick a lock. I tend to, now this is what's called a short hook, and this is a slightly longer hook. And the other two that I use a lot, this is a snake rake, and this is, as some people call it, a 3-peak rake. Now, when you go to make your pick out of a paper clip, for this demonstration I'm going to use an ordinary everyday off the Home Depot shelf master padlock. It's a fairly common lock. You see it a lot. It's a number 3, and as you can see, it does work. Okay. So, but when you go to make your pick, for me, I'm going to make my paper clip in the form of a short hook. When I am going to attack a lock like this, using a paper clip, it's very hard to get a paper clip to bend the way that one of these 3-peak rakes are bent. You just can't get them to bend that sharp. So let me get these out of the way. Now I went ahead and I already bent my paper clips up. So this is going to be my preformed short hook pick, and this is the tension wrench that I'm going to use to apply rotational pressure on the lock. Now the hardest part, or rather the more difficult part of trying to pick a lock with paper clips, is not the pick. The more difficult part, at least in my experience, is the tension wrench. Getting the tension wrench just right to be able to fit where you need it to And to get it to bite and to grab on in there can sometimes be quite a chore. Let's try the other end. Yeah, that feels pretty good. This got some grab to it. Now, all I do is I apply a slight pressure to this tension tool. And the tool provides rotational force on the cylinder. So as I set each lock pin, the cylinder is going to rotate slightly each time I set one of the pins until I get them all set, and then the lock will open. So let's give this a try. Usually I'll go as far in as I can. I'll hit the innermost pin first and then work my way towards the work my way out of the lock. And these materials flex a little bit. They flex more than a lockpick does. There we go. And it's open. And you can see the cylinder. It's turning. But that lock is open. So, yes, you can pick a lock with paper clips. And this is not the first time I've done it. I've actually have done it in the field. But then again, this is a padlock. This is not some high dollar piece of door hardware, with security pins and, like a Schlage Primus lock or something. So padlocks are much easier to do. So if you're going to play around with this kind of thing and try to get more proficient, use padlocks till you really get the feel of it. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.